5, 10 years ago was always who's greater, who's going to be the greatest, him or Jack, and that conversation is pretty much over to most people.
I beg to differ, and I'll give a different analogy to that because, first of all, you're never going to say who's the greatest of all time. To me, I think that's more for PR and more for selling stories and getting hype. Jack and Tiger never played against each other. They never played in the same tournament. They never played with the same equipment. They never played with the same length of golf course. I never played against Will Chamberlain. I never played against Jerry West. To now say that one's greater than the other is being a little bit unfair. I think when you can see the similarities and you understand, this is one way you can judge the two. How much impact did each change or evolve the game? Jack during his time when he played, or Tiger during his time. Now, obviously Jack won more during the time he played. Tiger evolved it to where it was, it crossed a lot of different boundaries, where it's not just a white guy's sport. The black guys, Afro-Americans, all the minorities play the game. And you play it at a level to where it generated so much interest financially that it grew the game from a financial standpoint. Now, does that constitute him being the greatest, or does that mean he's any less than Jack? I think is unfair. Yeah, Jack probably has 18 more majors, 18 majors, and Tiger's got 14. And I think those are when, that's how people are judging certain things. I won 6 championships. Bill Russell won 11. Does that make Bill Russell better than me and make me better than him? No, because we play at different eras. So when you try to equate who's the greatest of all time, it's an unfair parallel. It's an unfair choice. And I think, those are the demons that, obviously Tiger had to live with, and he's going to be challenged and he's going to be graded upon that. But for me, I think they're both great. I would never say one is greater than the other. That's me. That's my opinion.
Okay.
We play in different eras. He's an unbelievable player. Yeah, he's one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. I know it's a natural tendency to compare eras to eras, and it's going to continue to happen. I'm a fan of his. I love watching him play, but it's as you can see, our league is starting to expand on very talented players, and I think he's made his mark. He will continue to do so over a period of time. But when you start the comparisons, I think it is what it is. It's just a standard of measurement. And I take it with a grain of salt. He is a heck of a basketball player, without a doubt.
Robin Barbaren from Five Magazine in Germany. Michael, you just mentioned the last time you played here was 23 years ago during the McDonald's Championship. How do you think the global game has evolved since then?
Tremendously. I think it's grown tremendously large since then. I think the Dream Team started it, and it just led right into us playing here. And now you got 2 different teams playing. We got China, we got Africa now. So the game is expanding all over the globe. So I'm glad that I was a part of it, but I think that it will continually get bigger because of the passion of the game of basketball.
Okay, the next question is 5th row on the left.
David Kalfa from Radio France International. Sorry, my question isn't related to Paris, but to Africa. Will NBA organize soon a regular season in Africa like this one? And to Michael Jordan and Mr. Lasry, would you be happy to see your team play a game in Africa, especially you, Mr. Lasry, as you were born in Morocco?
I'm happy to play anywhere. So, if Adam would love us to play there, I think for our team, we'd love to try to do it. The question is just a matter of the schedule. So I think it's probably easier to do during the preseason than during a regular season game. It's just hard, just for the travel. But I think we'd love to try to do that and be a part of it.
Next question.
And I'll just add to Mark's point, we don't have any plans right now to play either a preseason or regular season game in Africa. What we've been doing over the past several summers is playing with a collection of players, whether it was in outside Dakar last summer, or if it's been in Johannesburg, that by bringing a group of players over, they can experience the community, we can do more activities in market. These games, whether it's regular season, is even tougher than preseason, but even with preseason, it's a very condensed schedule, and I think we can have a much greater impact by coming over in the summer, at least right now.
Next question is on the third row, gentleman on the right in dark.
Good evening. This question is for Michael. I'm Eric Michel from Le Parisien. I will ask you in French. Is that possible?
Sure.
Thanks.
As long as someone's going to translate it, right? Okay. All right.
Pourquoi vous êtes-vous associé avec le Paris Saint-Germain plutôt qu'avec un autre grand club européen comme Madrid, Milan, Turin?
Why did you choose Paris Saint-Germain rather than another team, Milan, Madrid? Why PSG?
Actually, they came to us, to do a partnership. And Neymar was a big Jordan fan. So the transition was much easier. Plus, it's in terms of the market, Paris is all about fashion, and we see Jordan brand as a leisure wear lifestyle brand. So the relationship was very, very easy.
Next question is second row here, in the middle.
I got one for the commissioner and one for the two owners. I'll start with you, Mr. Commissioner. You say the NBA is coming back to Paris in 2021. I was wondering if you have a plan for this game in Europe for the following years. And my question for the two owners is, what made you interested in coming to Paris to bring your team to play this game?
We do have plans in Europe for the following years. We haven't specifically set them yet. Part of the determination is based on arena availability, and there continues to be an investment in arena infrastructure throughout Europe, which is very encouraging to us. And as both Mark and Michael have mentioned, the quality of the international play is incredible. Just look at the recent All-Stars that were named just in some time zone yesterday or today, but plus 25% of our league now is based on international players, and Europe, sort of, as a region, is still where the most international players come from in the NBA. So we're going to continue to invest in basketball in Europe, work with the local federations and clubs, and continue to bring teams over. The only real limitation is the way the current schedule is structured, and even as Mark and Michael know, one of the projects the league continues to focus on is what should a regular season look like in 5 years and 10 years from now, and maybe ultimately we'll be building in more windows to allow for more travel during the regular season.
And you can see, we're 2 of the 30 teams, and we're very happy to be here. I imagine it's 28 teams would love to do the same. So I think whenever the league comes to us and invites us, it's great for our culture, it's great for the kids to understand and see a different country, for us to bond as a unit, So I think every team welcomes the opportunity to represent the NBA wherever they ask us to go.
Okay, question is towards the back on the left-hand side.
This question is for Michael Jordan, Malika Andrews, ESPN. Michael, speaking of Jordan Brand, I was just curious, Zion Williamson made his debut recently, and he is with you. I was wondering, I know you issued a statement, but if you could expand on what traits he had that made that so that was an athlete you wanted to sign, and what you thought of his debut.
Well, it's not just myself. I think the NBA is very fortunate to have a talented young man who shows a certain passion about the game. And that's something that you can't give. You're either born with it, and you basically want to share it with the rest of the world. We looked at Zion being an impact player that would bring energy to the game of basketball, and we can do it with a lot of different factors and different ways of endorsement and marketing. So it was a great opportunity for us, and I imagine the league has quite a number of those people. But we were very fortunate that he chose us, and we look at every opportunity to expand to him, to the consumers, and yet showcase his personality and his basketball skill. At the end of the day, we can't play basketball for him, but we feel like he does present us an opportunity to showcase his talents, and that's what our job is going to be. It's a great partnership, and I think what you saw the other night was a taste of what you're going to see coming forward. He still has a lot to do, but I think his passion for the game is coming through the way that he plays, and I think that's great for the league. That's not just great for Jordan.
And I think probably the 2 people who have had the greatest influence on the growth of the NBA outside the United States are Michael Jordan and David Stern. And probably without David, you know, the NBA as it currently stands would look very different. I mean, certainly, you know, Michael knows from his playing days, and also Mark was good friends with David long before he was a team owner in the NBA, that this was very much his vision, you know, before the Dream Team that Michael mentioned, you know, back from when he became commissioner in the mid-'80s, that he saw the global opportunity for this league. So I think, you know, I mean, I know because we had these conversations only as recently as December of last year, how proud he was of where the league stood today, of the fact, as I mentioned earlier, 25% now of our players were born outside the United States. Again, if you look at the All-Stars that were just named, 4 of those players were born outside the United States, and I think across the league you're looking at just the caliber of excellence. And I think that question about scouting, you know, as Michael said, as Mark said, I mean, there's great players that are coming from all over the world right now. So, you know, we're going to have a moment before the game tonight dedicated to David Stern, and as I said, he was a true visionary, and I think everyone who's been involved in this game owes him